Welcome back, everybody. Another Alliance War video here. It's for Loki versus SSX, and this is war number 3. Let's take a look at the bans. They have Two-Point Torch, Herc, APOC, Kingpin, and Doom. That being said, let's get into it. Okay, so I have Omega Sentinel, Professor X, and White Magneto. So I get synergies with Omega Sentinel and Professor X. I get extra charges. Same thing with White Mags. And so here I have a White Max pre-fight placed, and my initial thought was to just heavy, get my Fury, and then do damage. However, since he is a conduit defender, I didn't care about knocking him down because he goes debuff immune when you knock him down, and I just figured I would be able to do damage. But you can see that he's regenning. When he has his regen buff up, he actually regens like basically all the damage that I'm doing. So I'm going through this fight, and I'm like, okay, it's like a minute and a half in, and he's at 75%. I'm not doing well to basically kill him. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. Okay, if I heal block him when he has his Fury, so I throw my SP3, and I'm like, okay, I need to stack some incinerates and go from there. So looking back at this now, he goes debuff immune when I knock him down, so that's not essentially good. And my plan, okay, it's about halfway point, and at this point I'm like, okay, I need to heal block him and just keep the heal block paused so I can just do damage with basic hits. And at this point I was gonna turn suicides on for this fight, but I figured the Fury would be enough, and I didn't really need to. And I wish I would have, because then I would have, done a lot more damage. And he's at 40%, 2 minutes left, and I'm like, okay, like, what am I gonna do here? He goes debuff immune, shrugs all my stuff when I SP3, so I'm not gonna do that. Land the heal block and just do basic hits, leave the protection up, and then just kind of, let my damage kind of go at him. At this point, it is reduced by 40% or by 60%, so I'm racing the clock, and I'm like, all right. It's a minute left. He needs to get friendly with his SP2s or SP1s, and I can chip him down. And that's why I fast forwarded this fight, because it's just taking forever. And I'm like, okay, he's at 15%. I have a minute left. I'm in good shape. He throws this, and I just got to keep everything paused. I throw another perfect. He throws an SP1 right after I heal blocked him, so I can pause it. And I'm like, all right. At this point, he just needs to throw this special, and then I can kill him. 25 seconds, 20 seconds left. I'm like, that was close. Okay, I was sweating that completely, but it's down. Now I have Spider Ham, and the plan here is just basically parry heavy, build to over 25 charges. He won't evade. Once he can't evade, he can't do his evade and unblockable and crazy stuff, so I'm just gonna heavy counter his SP1 if he throws it, and just parry heavy, and that's it, and throw my SP3, preferably without a taunt up, obviously without a pork popper, and with my with the protection down. Now I can throw it with the taunt up. It just will take more SP3s to nuke him. I have mutant boost on right now because I'm going to be running through all my fights at once. So at this point, just kind of ramping up to my 100 mind control charges. He's already at 60%, and it's like 40 seconds into the fight. So here I'm not gonna have any more because I'm just trying to build power. So I'm just kind of waiting it out. I'm like, all right, I have that taunt up, and I'm not at an SP3 yet, or else I would just throw it. So I'm like, okay, now I have the pork popper, and I'm like, come on now. I'm heavy right here, and I'm gonna time it so the popper's off. I was gonna try to parry heavy into my SP3, but I just dashed back. When you heavy charge into your SP3, I get another prowess. But with the Fury and my power back, it doesn't matter for Ham. He doesn't have a lot of health. For someone like Sassy or another champ with more health, then I would definitely do it. But this fight is over. So next up, I have Mole Man on node 19. And I'm going to be taking that with Wags. Someone already dropped the Wags for me. That way I can actually utilize it and get it back. I could just max Pacify, and with a mutant with Wags, I can just kind of bypass his shrug ability. But we had it available, so might as well. And so here the plan is basically I have mutant boost on running for Professor X for other fights. Not necessarily this one, but it'll benefit me here too. So I'm just going to parry heavy. It pushes him back quite a bit. So I want him in his corner, and I don't want him to throw an SB1 ideally, because then he doesn't gain any monster mass. So that way I can hit into his block if needed. You see he's at 0 mass charges, so he's going to throw this SB2, and he doesn't gain any monster mass. I'm like, alright, perfect. And since it's a stun passive, he can't shrug it or anything like that. He can only, I'm going to throw my SB2, and then obviously he can shrug the degen if he does, but he doesn't even survive it, so that fight's over. And then next up I have Storm X. She's Conduit, and this is on node 25, the prowess build up and power snack. So the plan is here. I thought about you know, putting suicides on for this, but it's really not necessary. I'm just going to heal block her and deck some SB1s, and then throw an SB2 or an SB3, whatever happens to line up with the power sting that I get when she gets a bar of power. So here she's heal blocked, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna pause. I usually counter that, but I didn't want to get parried, so I was just like, you know what, I'll just wait it out, and that's basically what I'm doing. This is an easy fight, as long as I don't mess something up. And so just keep the heal block paused, so if I deal any energy damage, she won't, Conduit won't kick on. So right there I could have thrown my SB3. Oh, she did actually auto block to save me a little bit. That's why that incinerates on her. So I do like that mechanic about Omega Sentinel. Not only is she tanky with all those armor ups, but it can save you from taking some real damage and parry the opponent. So here the heal block falls off. It's not that big a deal. I'm just going to get it back on, and then I'm going to throw my SB3. And I threw it here because I didn't want to see how much damage it actually did. So I'm going to take a bishop here and throw it under 10%. And it doesn't exactly kill her, but the DOT damage does after. And so next up I'm on path 5 again with Kitty. And this basic Omega Sentinel fight. Just pop a cowardice on her and removes all the prowess, and she just kind of limits her power. I don't really care about getting the intercept. I can just do enough damage just as is. So kind of sped this up. I did try to go for intercept here and there. She didn't bite, so I'm just kind of going through it. And I throw this SB2 just to get those incinerates. I should have just saved for the SB3. Would have landed 6 incinerates and just done more damage. So now I'm just baiting this out, and I'm going to pause everything. But it's almost going to fall off. So about a minute down, and she's almost dead. Yes, if I would have gone for intercept, she would have definitely been dead, but I'm not really worried about it. So here we are, and then I get an intercept there, so I throw my SB1 while I have the Fury, and she's essentially dead. And now we have America Chavez. There's a white Magneto pre-fight, so I can parry. I have a max boosted. This is why I was running the cosmic boost, really, is for the sassy later on, but I hate Chavez. So the plan here is to parry heavy and build to an SB3, obviously, with 100 charges. I did an invulnerability boost because if I get close to pushing her to a special 2 without her zones on, I'm going to, so I can just block it and I don't have to waste my SB2. But this Chavez is doing me a huge favor. What I like about X and taking her, as long as she doesn't start some random heavies, is that she does get friendly with her SB1 when you knock her down. So it goes hand in hand because I want to keep parry heavy in her. So here, I'm like, okay, I didn't get that intercept, which is weird because my falter triggered, and I'm like, if she throws the SB1, I just do a backdraft and I get it, and I'm like, all right, perfect. My heavy charge, and this fight is now over. So no heavies from Chavez, which is great. Last time I took her on this node was with Torch, and she played beautifully as well. It's only a matter of time. before she starts doing her crazy heavy AI, and you know, I got to deal with that. But for now, she is dead. So next up, I have Killmonger on 39, Mighty Charge, and I think that node you get an armor break if you don't attack in a certain time. So I still have my invuln boost running, and don't really need it for this. If anything, I would use a PS1 just to get into it. I am still running those mutant boosts, so the plan is to basically spam SB3s. If I didn't have a mutant boost on, I don't need it for the nuke. I would do the same thing, parry heavy, and then I just go from SB1 or SB3 to SB2 to SB1, and it would essentially kill him as long as I have the Fury up. But I have to be careful about reverb with the SB2 first hit. So here he's throwing his SB1s at me, and that's fine. It's better than the SB2. I actually prefer the SB2. I just have to clear out his indestructible charges. What I don't like about the SB1 is that if I hit into his block, then he's, you know, obviously goes unstoppable. But I get that that intercept right there, and then I just dash back, and I'm fully ramped at 4 charges, so I'm good to go. And shout out to Clown. This is his mini that I'm smoking right now. So Mommy Short Arms is no more, at least with Killmonger here. And Clown is officer in Fort Loki, so his main account is there. He's been there forever. Great dude, great officer. So next up we have a mini boss, Sassy, on the Vigilance node. And so here I want a PS1 boost just to get to my SP3 as soon as possible. Preferably when he's not in Wrath of Tanarak or whatever. So I'm gonna parry heavy, and I have a White Magneto pre-fight, so I can really ramp up my my charges with that long stun. And you see here, I'm trying not to trigger MD if I don't have to, but the more power he has when I go into my SP3 rotation, the better. So I'm at 100 charges. I throw my SP3, and that's all she wrote. This is like the easiest fight in the world. I know Torch nukes him completely, but I mean, this is kind of like just brain dead. Sassy, you know, 101. So that was that's it for my war. I did all my fights all at once, thanks to getting that energy. And it's still early in the war, so I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but hopefully we get the win. And this Sassy is literally, yeah, he is now dead. So let's take a look at the scores now. And this is our BG. We got a donut this war, so that's awesome for our BG. We actually went up against Clown's Minis BG, and we beat them, but we lost the war. Shout out to B Manny, Clown, and Karate Mike as MVPs. We are 1-2, and we'll look to bounce back next war. See you guys in the next one.